It's Micah. Welcome to our Tuesday reaction series where we're looking at the number one songs of each calendar year, and we are up to the year of 1962. And the number one song of that year was Mr. Acker Bilk and Stranger on the Shore. I know nothing about Mr. Acker Bilk, and the reason I'm saying Mr. is because where it's listed uh, on the charts, it actually has the Mister in front of it. I don't know if there's a story behind why he went by that as an artist name at a certain point, but I know nothing about this guy. As you can see from the picture on your screen, he was a clarinetist. That's just about all I know about him, so I'm expecting that this will be an instrumental. It's odd to me that in the middle of the rock and roll era that this song is the number one song of 1962. I've said that about several of the recent number one hits that I've reacted to. It makes me wonder, like, what was rock and roll really the all-encompassing thing that people said it was? At the same time, I do know that it took a very long time for a hip hop song to be the number one song of the year, even after hip hop allegedly took over. There's always a strong pop backbone or backstop in the culture, even when something like rock and roll or hip hop makes a lot of noise because it's the new thing or the new kid on the block. And I guess that applied even in the early days of the rock and roll era as well. So let's sit back and listen to Acker Bilk, or Mr. Acker Bilk, and Stranger on the Shore. There's no doubt that that was a beautiful, I was about to say rendition, because I'm saying that because although I'm not familiar with Stranger on the Shore as a song, this sounds very much like a rendition of the song. The clarinet seems to be emulating a human voice singing words and lyrics. I'm familiar with the phrase "stranger on the shore" for some reason, so I'm thinking maybe it's a classic song. I think I can almost hear words in my head for it, but I could be just constructing that out of absolute nothingness. Please let me know in the comments. I may do a little research after watching this after this video to confirm for myself, but it does appear that this was some sort of a standard and he was just doing a clarinet interpretation of the song, because it does seem like a sung lyric. What he's articulating with the clarinet almost seems to mimic syllables and words. So that's what I'm thinking. So I guess reconstructing what happened in 1962 was that he took a song which I'm going to say is a standard, and interpreted it for clarinet in such a beautiful way that people took to it and it became a big hit. But please let me know in the comments what am I missing about that, and why was it such a big hit. 2 years earlier, the number one song was by Percy Faith, and it was a song from a theme from A Summer Place, which was a movie theme, which does explain its visibility in popular culture. Was this song featured prominently in a film also? Is that part of what's going on here? Again, let me know. I don't know a lot about clarinet playing, and I don't know, in more classical or orchestral type arrangements, I have less to say on those, because my ear can't necessarily differentiate the nuances as well as I can with more modern music. To me, this song sounds like it could have come out 40 years earlier and not been out of place. The orchestral backdrop appears to be perfunctory, not poorly done in any way, but just there as a background. I wasn't moved by the song, and I wasn't transported in the same way that I was with the Percy Faith song from 2 years earlier, but it was a pleasant enough listen for me. I don't really have anything, unfortunately, really incisive to say about it, so I'll leave it at that. But that was a pleasant listen. Again, kind of a surprise that for me personally, that in 1962 this was the biggest hit of the year. Wow. Okay, so next week we get into dueling number one songs of 1963. In 1963, it appears that there was some dispute over what the biggest hit of the year was, and maybe I'll do a little research before I get into that, but barring any conclusive outcome of that research, I will be doing a twofer next week and reacting to both songs that are considered the number one song of 63, and that would be Sugar Shack and Surfin' USA. I don't think I'm familiar with the former song. I definitely am familiar with Surfin' USA. And so we're getting, at least with the second song, we are getting back into the rock and roll era, although surf music was considered a little bit watered down, I believe, version of rock and roll at the time. Then we'll be getting into the Beatles era, and I'm thinking that the sound of the songs is going to start shifting dramatically from here on. But happy to go through the 60s. The 60s is maybe the decade that I'm the most in the dark about musically out of all the decades that we're going through. So it's enlightening to me to hear these records for many of them for the first time. So if you liked this video, then you can feel free to click that like button. That would be appreciated. Feel free to also to subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined, and please help me to make music better.